everyone, it's Friday. Welcome to Calm in the Midst of the Storm. Well, I'm Marcia Grace, your Calm Creativity Connector, as always, here on Fridays. And I always tell you that there's a way to view your feelings and experiences differently so that you can find the solutions that you need to your problems, whatever they may be. And we certainly have a bunch of them. Extra compounded in this crazy time. So I understand completely, and that's why I'm here, because I know how me as a business owner, you as business owners are having incredible issues that you've never had to face before, and decisions to make you've never had to make before. So, and things are happening in our families because we're so close. We've been brought together so closely for many of us. And for others, we've been alienated because of having to stay separate. So we're all having issues. They look different, but they're all causing us a lot of stress. And that it doesn't have to be that bad. It doesn't have to be bad. It can be good, actually. I know my personal experience is that I've learned how to find my place in the midst of whatever it is I'm in by tuning in. I tune in to that inner calm, that inner guidance that tells me what I need to do in the moment. And again, this is one of the crucial ideas that I stress over and over and over again, is how important it is to be in the moment. When you're in the moment, you're going to feel much more calm and in control. It's only when we get caught up in the past or looking toward the future that we get confused and upset. So my expertise, of course, is teaching what I call meditative contemplation, which is different than meditation that you may, in the way you may think of it. So, and now more than ever, it's essential that we take care of ourselves, and doing contemplative meditation will help you take care of yourself so that you can help others, help your family members, help your business partners, help your customers, whoever they are, so that we can all get through all these days together. So as I've been doing over the last I don't know how many weeks now, but this is going to be the final week that I'm talking about building confidence. And today I'm going to wrap it all up and talk about the greatest secrets to build confidence. Because even if we are the most expert, fantastic people in our business, we know everything upside down and inside out, nonetheless, we can still lose confidence when stress hits us square between the eyes, and we just fall down dizzy, right? So that's why I'm talking about this and spending a lot of time with it, because I really understand for myself and have seen it with friends of mine how important it is to do these things that we've been talking about over the last few weeks to get ourselves back on track. So today, I want to just, confirm some of the things that we've said over the last weeks. And, as I've mentioned before, stress kills. It's a silent killer of our body and our mind. It may not kill your body, but it can really play havoc with your mind. And because when you're stressed, you become incapable of connecting with your inner wisdom. And as I say, that's where all our answers are. Now, when I say connecting with our inner wisdom, it can be very different. You might think of it in a different way. But what's really happening is that you are allowing yourself to get still enough to hear your own inner conversation and bring up and remember the things that you know that will help you. Because you already know them, they're there. But because all that chatter is going on the surface, you don't hear it. So when I say inner wisdom, it's not some airy-fairy thing. It's something very, very practical and concrete. You can call it spiritual. I don't mind. I do. But it's also very practical. So I'm all about practical spirituality, if you want to put it that way. So, yeah. So... is there anything more crippling to your happiness and your relationships than when you lose your confidence? because what happens? Everything seems harder to accomplish. Your concentration is off. You get irritable, and you may even fall into depression. So, this is certainly not where you want to go. And you're not going to move forward under those conditions because you're going to be stuck in that loop, which is not good for your health, mentally or physically. Hey, Jamie. Hi, sweetie. How are you? So I've discussed over these weeks many different ways how we can find our confidence, little tricks in order to nurture that confidence. And so I'm going to revisit a couple of those, the most important ones today, and a couple of new ones perhaps. So the first one I'm going to talk about is, and I think this is, we've heard the expression, fake it till you make it. So, and I love that because it also makes me think of the ancient song called Whistle a Happy Tune. And, and pretend like you are what you're not really feeling at the moment, because it's all about neural networks and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know all that scientific jargon, but I do know that we can make new neural connections by faking it first. It's like blazing a new trail. You're blazing a new trail through your mind to get you going in the right direction if you've fallen off the path. So you're acting as if, even though you aren't feeling, like you really are competent to do whatever it is, or like you really want to do it. But once you make that decision, your body-mind is going to kick in, and it's going to start to remember how you always did display your confidence in the past, because we all have, right? We all know how to do that. But we perhaps have forgotten it or laid it aside in the midst of our stressful moments. So, and if you don't believe that that's true, there was actually a Harvard study, and it proved that the name of this, let me look at my paper here. The name Schlenker and Leary in 1982 did a study, and they found that projecting confidence leads to positive effects. As long as you don't claim that others are incompetent. So that's an important part of it. We don't want to diss anybody else. We just want to feel our own confidence and make it so, say it so. So, okay, so that's the first one. Next one is to get back in. Now that you're faking it till you make it. You're going to make an effort to pretend like you're confident, even though you're not feeling it. And so you have to dive back in. You have to pick yourself up from the couch, in your pajamas, wherever you're schlumping around, and get moving. So it's easier once you make that decision to say, I can be confident. Yes, I am, and get moving. So, because the last thing, if you're thinking of yourself as a failure, or you didn't get it right, or maybe you won't get it right, if you're thinking those thoughts, you are not going to be able to build up your confidence. So the only sure way to fail is to keep doing the same thing, right? Over and over, right? They said that's the definition of insanity. So don't do that. Don't do that. No, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you get up and try again, because as we know, practice makes perfect, right? Nobody's perfect the first time, and especially if we've been kind of beaten down, it's hard to pick yourself up. But nonetheless, each and every one of us has that ability. So, and you ask yourself, how can I do it differently this time, right? So maybe if something failed, or something didn't go right the way I had planned it, now I feel bad. I feel incompetent. So maybe now the thing is to say, how can I do it differently, right? How can I shift my thinking in a different way? What can I do to rectify the situation? Because it's not about failure. Failure is not an option here. You can make a mistake, or you can find that something didn't work, but that doesn't mean you failed. It just means you tried something and it didn't work, so you try something else, right? It's all about attitude, right? It's all about your attitude. So, all right. And another thing that you can do to help yourself in this process as you're diving back into your efforts to get back on track is to make it hard for yourself to quit. Now, how can you do that? How do you make it hard to quit? Because sometimes it's just all too easy to just lay back down on the couch and say, ugh, forget about it. I just can't. I can't move. I'm not doing it. And so we know that's easy. But how can you hang in there and restore your confidence? Well, you make it impossible by finding someone to be accountable to. All right? If you have if you can, even a friend, someone who really honors you and will not, will always help you see the best part of yourself. Okay, and those people may be far and few between. If you have somebody like that in your life, you are blessed. So you can count on that person, or get a coach, or join a program, or find a Facebook group or something online where you become accountable for, if you say you're going to do something, that you're going to do it. And when you know that someone else is waiting to hear from you, and if they don't hear that you're going to call them and say, I did it, they're going to call you back and say, well, how's it going? And when you know that, it's a little thing that happens in your mind that makes you say, okay, I have to do this. So that's really so important and such a helpful tool. And I can't stress enough how important it is to have an accountability buddy of some sort, okay? All right, so now you've, you're faking it even though you're not feeling it, and you find somebody to help support you. So now do something that scares you. Now that you have help, you can do something that's a little bit beyond your comfort zone. And I don't mean jumping off cliffs or doing something insane. Like some people I know who climb mountains and do all kinds of wild, crazy things. And live to tell about it, thank God. But but do something that pushes you beyond your comfort zone. So that might be something adventurous, or it could be something you thought about in your business, trying to do something new, but maybe you said, no, I don't want to take the risk. Well, what the heck, you might as well. In this environment, doing anything at all could be helpful. So it certainly can't hurt. So by all means, be willing to step out there and be adventurous. Be willing to be wrong. It's okay. Be willing to find that it doesn't work, because then okay, you can check that one off your list and say, all right, that didn't work, and go on to the next thing. So, it's important to build up your confidence by being surrounded by people who love you. Okay, so that's the last thing I want to say in terms of new ideas to bring to you today, because when you remember someone who loves you, it brings up all those good oxytocin hormones and stuff in your body into your brain, which makes you feel good. And when you feel good, you're going to be more productive, right? I mean, that just, the two things go hand in hand. So remember people who love you, or contact people who love you. And there may be people out there that you don't even realize love you. And I'll give you an example. Today I was on a call this morning with a large group, and who do I see in this group but someone I haven't seen in quite some time. And I, she's not a close friend, but I certainly know her for many years in the various networking groups that we belong to. Hey, Michael, good to see you. And so we were, she saw me, I saw her, but, we're in this group. So afterwards, as soon as the group was over, my phone rang, and it was her. She called me. And that just made me feel so wonderful, because I said, well, like I said, we're not close friends. It's not like, oh, yeah, I saw you yesterday and I'm seeing you today. this is someone I see rarely and haven't in many, many months. So it was just so wonderful to have her call and say, oh, let's get together and, let's whatever, right, make a connection. So again, that's the kind of thing you might not even know. There are people who care about you that you don't even know that care about you. So how can you find that out? You might want to just put a little note on Facebook or on your LinkedIn, wherever it is. Just put a little something there that says, "Oh, I'm looking for some support right now." You don't have to get crazy about it, but just say, or offer support. You could offer support, because when you offer support to someone else, guess what? It helps you. So everybody benefits, right? So that's really, and sometimes the best therapy is just to talk your issues out, whatever they are. Just share it, because what you're thinking sometimes, I know for me, I may be thinking something, and then when I'm talking to someone and actually expressing it, all of a sudden it becomes real. It becomes something I can work with, something I can work through, as opposed to just being an idea in my mind that's kind of floating around back there in the background. So really, really valuable to just find someone, a friend, a mentor, anybody, and talk through whatever it is you're going on. Just get into a conversation, and I'm sure whatever the issue is will come up quick enough. So it'll clarify things in your mind and help you perhaps make a new decision. Because, when I say listen to your inner guidance could tell you, go call so-and-so and have a conversation. That could be your inner guidance. It doesn't mean that you're always going to get the answer directly from your inner self, but it can come through somebody else that your inner guidance directs you to go and contact. So that's how that works. Just make sure that this person loves you and honors you and won't, will be positive in their recommendations or how they support you. So finding someone in your corner is one of the best, most important things you can do to help yourself. And the last thing I want to talk about, and I have mentioned this before, but it's always worth repeating again and again and again, and that is to forgive yourself. Now that's, when I say forgive yourself, it's a big topic. And, for me to try to talk about this whole topic of self-forgiveness in a few minutes is ridiculous. Nonetheless, if I just say that if you can just say to yourself, whatever I've done, whether it was yesterday or 20 years ago or whenever it was, is in the past. It's in the past. It's over. And so it can't hurt me unless I allow it to, unless I bring it up, unless I keep playing that old song over and over again. All right? That's my choice. So you have that choice. And really, so forgiveness really is being willing to let the past go and be in the present and say, no one is perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. I'm not the only one. Whatever you did, somebody did worse. I can assure you, whatever you did, anybody that's listening to me, I know for sure couldn't have done anything really bad. So, and even if you did, you can forgive yourself, because it's over. It's over, and we are now moving ahead into being our best self. And that's an ongoing process. It's never ending. As long as we're breathing and walking and living, we're here to work on ourselves, to be more aware of what our needs are and how we can be helpful to other people. That's just the best way to live life that I can imagine. Always thinking in terms of how can I be better, because it feels good. It feels good when, as long as you're not finding fault with yourself and saying, oh, I can't ever get anything right. You don't want to do that. You want to acknowledge your successes, acknowledge those things. Absolutely, that's essential. Acknowledge your successes, but know that there are more to come, right? So, all right, so what else? And give yourself time. You need to give yourself time to work through certain issues, right? Sometimes, if you've had a really difficult relationship with someone, this might not be the time to try to make amends for whatever reason. Or maybe it is. It may be the perfect time. I don't know. You have to know that within yourself. But always know that even if it isn't the right time, that the right time will come. Always hold out that hope that the right time will come, because that gives you a goal that says, all right, I'm feeling lousy about this relationship right now, or this work situation, or whatever it is. However, sometime in the future, I know it's going to work out. Now, hold on to that idea, and you're going to feel better about it. Because at least then you can stop fretting and stop trying to figure it out if this isn't the right time. And I do totally believe that there is a right time for everything, and you'll feel it. You'll know when you're supposed to do. I know me. When I have an issue, I look at it. Maybe even I write it down, because again, this is very helpful too. And then I let it go, and then I just say, okay, when I need to get the answer to this, it'll come, and trust that. And I've talked about trust before, and it will, and it does. And then suddenly one day I'll just be doing something, maybe totally unrelated, and suddenly I'll get, a message that says, call this person or go here or do that or whatever. And that's the answer, because I let it go, and I let it, what an old friend of mine used to call percolate. I let it percolate. Remember we had the old percolator coffee pots? I don't know if you are old enough to remember those. But, you put it on the stove, and you would had a little glass bowl on the top, and you would see the coffee, moving in that little glass bowl, and it would be what's called percolating. So, and you would let that happen for a little while, and then it was ready. So that's really so important to keep in mind. Okay, keep in mind. Let it percolate until it's ready, and trust that you will get the answer that you are looking for. Because nothing happens necessarily overnight. It can, but it may not, and that's all right too. So we have to be patient sometimes. We have to be patient. Not all situations can be resolved instantaneously, but maybe step by step, maybe little tiny baby step by baby step, we can find our way. So, and the last thing that I want to say about building your confidence and helping yourself do that is something else that we've spoken about weeks back, and that is self-care. And that's taking care of you, your physical body, and your mental body, right? So you need to take care of you, getting enough sleep, eating properly. I know you hear this over and over again, but this is so essential, because when you're stressed, again, you tend not to do the right thing. You tend to, grab the bag of chips, or eat an ice cream, or I don't know, go get a pizza or something, and not eat properly. And as soon as you do that, you're messing up your system. So once your body's not operating properly, you're not getting the right nutrition, you're not getting the right nutrients, you're not getting the right hormonal balances going on, and it throws everything off. So that, and the sleep element also very important. When we're stressed, we tend to worry and we don't sleep. So find what works for you. I'm not going to go into that now, because we've talked about that before, about how to get good sleep. But there are many things you can do to make sure that you get a good night's sleep. And exercise, right? Exercise, again, gets those endorphins and those hormones pumping, and keeps your body flexible, and elevates your mood, because probably you have to go out. I mean, we don't all go outside to exercise, but certainly in the nice weather we can. And you're getting sunlight, vitamin D, very important. All of those things really help to lighten your mood and build your confidence. So practicing self-care is absolutely essential to your well-being, and you'll be amazed at what attention to the basics, these basics of sleep and eating and exercising, does to improve your outlook and how you feel about yourself. So, okay, if you have any comments about this series of talking about confidence building. Hi, Kate. Very nice to see you. If you have any comments at all, I'd love to hear them. If you think what I shared with you today is of value, please pass it on to someone else you think might find it of value. And comment. I'd love to have a comment or a like or even a big heart. Give me a heart. Give me a love. And I will feel so happy about that. Okay, so now I would like to do the second part, if you can hang around for this. The second part I call the spiritual part of our talk together, and that's when when we do some deep breathing and I light the candle, and I have a special little meditation for us today, if you can hang in with me. Okay, so here we go. I'm lighting the candle. Okay, let me put this over here. Is this a good place for it? All right. Okay. All right. So first we do our slow, steady, deep breaths in and out. So if you want to if you can close your eyes, if you want to close your eyes, that's fine. If you want to look at the candle, that's just why I lit it. So you could do that. And we're going to just blow out all the air that's in your lungs right now. And really, as you're blowing out, really feel your body going in. Then, so you're pushing, literally pushing your belly in, which pushes your lungs and gets all the air out, okay? And then, so once that's out, then we're going to breathe in and hold for a couple of seconds and then blow it out, just through little pursed lips, just blow it out. And again, as you're blowing out, you're feeling your whole body kind of collapsing in on itself as you're pushing in your belly, okay? All right, so let's blow out. Just blow out all that stale, dead air, and then begin that inhalation. Let the belly pop out. Let the chest rise and expand, and then hold that breath there for a moment or two, and then release, 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 release. Let go of any stress, any tension, anything that's bothering you. Just let it all go. And again, I want you to breathe in this time, and as you're breathing in and filling up, breathe in the possibilities and optimism for the future. And hold that concept for a minute or two, or a second or two. And then release all fear, all doubt. Just let it go, let it go, let it go. All right. And once more, breathing in, filling up with ease and relaxation, and you are full and complete in this moment. And hold, and then release any last little bit of resistance that may be lingering. Let it go, let it go. All right, so now let's have a little imagination game as you close your eyes or look at the candle. And I want you, because we're going to do a little confidence experiment here. We're going to see how your confidence is feeling. So I want you to put yourself in an imaginary situation. So let's say that you just had something really good happen. Whether it's something good, you thought of a new idea for your book or your business or something you want to tell somebody, whatever, something really good happened, and you are asked, just coincidentally, of course there are no coincidences, you are asked to present in front of the local Chamber of Commerce with your new idea. And or your new thing that happened to you that you want to share with people, so they can be inspired, right? You want to going to do a little inspiration thing by sharing your story. So I want you to just imagine, first of all, I hope maybe you thought of what that story might be. And it could be something from the past. It didn't have to just happen now. Or make it up if you can't think of anything at the moment. And just see yourself now. Okay, you know that you're going to do this talk in front of a few people. It could be 10 people, 50 people, whatever. And you've been asked to go there, so you know that they're excited to hear what you have to say. And so you see yourself entering into the building. And we'll pretend this is a time when you don't have to wear masks anymore. And so you come into the building and you come into the room and you see people, and you smile, they smile at you, you smile at them, and then you meet the host of the group, the president of the chamber, and you know, they're happy to have you, so glad you're here. How are you feeling? I just want you to stop for a moment now. How are you feeling? And be honest. What kind of feelings come up for you when you think about this presentation that you're going to give in front of this group? And maybe the first words that come to mind are nervous, scared, frightened. And that wouldn't be unusual, okay? Most people aren't that thrilled about getting up in front of a group. But I'll ask you to do a simple little thing, and that's make a little shift in your words, the words that you're using to express this feeling that you're having. So what you could be saying is, I'm excited. Excited. Because to be excited is the same energy as fright, right? Same energy, only with a different way of looking at it, right? A positive outlook as opposed to a fearful outlook. You're not being chased by any tigers. No, nobody's there to hurt you. And so it's excitement. You're excited to be in front of this group and to share something that is very meaningful to you. All right, so you're excited now, and the host introduces you, and you come up to the front of the room, and now you're looking out on this group of people, and they're looking at you. Yes, of course they're looking at you, and you're looking at them. And you can find one person, perhaps. This is very helpful. If you can find one person that you may know, maybe somebody in the group that you know that's a friend, that you can zero in on and talk to that one person. Sometimes that makes you feel much better, and it's easier to do that. It's like you're having a one-on-one conversation. And you begin to talk and you say, hi, my name is so-and-so, and I'm so glad to be with you here today. I want to share with you something wonderful that happened to me that I think you might find helpful. And then I'm going to be quiet for a minute, and I want you to just think about what it is you might say. All right? So let's just get still for a moment and just imagine what you might say in front of this group. And one of the nice things that you can do too is to say, just say what you're feeling. Just be totally honest and open. People really appreciate that. All right, so now wrap up your little talk in front of your group and tell them thank you for having me come here today. And I'm sure you're looking back, seeing a room full of smiling faces and some applause, right? Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you can just step back now, find a seat in the back of the room where you can just kind of catch your breath. And as you're sitting there, now I want you to just feel for a minute what that felt like and how you feel now. How do you feel now that you were able to present this thing in front of the group? And please share me if you were able to do that little exercise with me, that little meditation. I'd love to hear something if you would share what that felt like. I'm going to wave. I'm going to wave, 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 wave. Hi, Catherine. Sometimes play acting, as you might think of it, or doing these little imaginary games can be very helpful to help us really understand the kinds of things that go through our minds when we're confronted with something that may be a little uncomfortable. And just play acting it and imagining what it's like can be really helpful. So I hope you enjoyed that. And if you enjoyed today's time together, please share it with others. And I also want to say, as I always do, that the greatest gift you can give yourself is to spend some time at the beginning of your morning to do some contemplative relaxation, meditation, and get yourself organized for the day. That's what I teach, and one of the great ways to start that process is through guided meditations, and there are lots of apps that you can find online. I have a guided meditation that you can find on my website, which is, I think you'll find in the box there, the link to that. So please go there and take a listen. And until next week, I wish you a happy and fulfilling and successful week in whatever your endeavors are. So be well, stay well, and bye-bye for now. Oh, and remember, everything begins with a thought. Bye-bye.